very lucky to be able to travel all around the world for my job, but I do love coming back to Leicestershire, back to my childhood home. I'm Amy Shaw and I'm an automotive and lifestyle photographer. We're a really close family and have always been, and it's probably because my dad that I'm into the cars and the photography actually as well. One of my earliest memories was driving with my dad in a white Mini, but at the time they weren't that old, so it wasn't really a classic car as such, but Dad was always working either on classic cars. I remember going out to the garden once and there was all these bits of at the time I found out it was a Formula 1 car, and as a child I didn't know what they were. I just remember my dad saying, just don't touch any of this.
I'm Andy Shaw and I specialise in automotive paintwork with airbrush and watercolour. My first recollection of doing any artwork with Amy was helping her with her art homework for school. So I couldn't wait when she came back with a project for me to get stuck into to give her a hand. She didn't really do much, I took over and did it for her. She used to get top marks, so I was quite pleased about that.
My very first driving experience was actually at Mallory Park. Not round the circuit or anything, but in the car park.
I went to Mallory Park to see a race meet. I took the kids and I decided to give Amy a go at driving.
I think my dad took my brother and I to a race or something, and then afterwards he said, "Hey Amy, do you wanna have a go at driving the car?" I think it was like a turquoise Rover.
It was a Rover 216, I think it was. So I think she was 12, and I gave her a go at the wheel.
At 12 years old, my dad saying, "Do you want to have a go at driving a car?" I was like, yes. So I basically drove around the car park in first gear as a 12-year-old.
And she loved it.
From then, I remember being on the school bus and driving past a classic car for sale, and I think now it was an MGB GT, and it was like this mustard colour, and I was in love. I just saw that, and I think I came home to my parents that night and said, I love this car, I don't know what it is, and I think Dad was like, it's just an MG, I know which one you're on about. But from that point, I knew that I loved classic cars. For me, I suppose the stars originally began to align back in the 80s when my dad used to work for this classic sports car restoration company. And then he ended up getting this job, his dream job at Lotus, Formula 1. So after he was at Lotus for a couple of years, I came along and he had to quit that job to come back and work back in Leicestershire, and ended up working for that restoration company again. 25 years later, I graduated university, and that restoration company had just built a replica Ferrari P4. And I just shot this P4 like I would shoot, at the time, my friends, my family, the things that I'd shot up until that point. And yeah, the images basically ended up going viral online, and so many people saw these pictures, and I was just, that was the point that I thought, wow, this is something I'm gonna have to try and keep doing.
Amy, with her photography, she seems to be able to naturally just catch a moment that nobody else seems to be able to do. So I'll try myself, I can't do what she does. And I taught her.
When you're driving, especially classic cars, if you don't have any music and it's just the sound of the exhaust and the feel of the car, the engine, the certain corners which you know, especially if you drive them a lot, if they're close to home, you think, oh, I'm going to enjoy this corner. It's something that you can just go out just because you think, I just want to go and have a drive. And the same with riding motorcycles as well. Sometimes you just think, just that feeling of freedom and that ability to just go out and just go is something that I don't think people who are into cars, I don't think they would understand. I just want to be able to inspire people, not necessarily to think, oh, you know, I love cars and I want to get into cars generally. That is definitely a facet of it, but I want people to be able to do things like adventure, drive classic cars because they are silly and they are fun. Go on these road trips purely because you've not been there before or you want to experience something new. When I used to go on car shoots, especially in my earliest car shoots, if I had to go to maybe a car show and find a car that somebody wanted me to shoot, I didn't know about classic cars really at this point, and so I would bring my dad with me to tell me what these cars were, and he would be like, oh, that's one of the cars you're looking for, and that's another one. I remember taking him to Bicester Heritage quite a few times early on, because it was just quite a wonderful event, and you know, he loves classic cars as well, and it was lovely for him, I think, to hang out with me and both of us to be able to shoot these classic cars. And then I took him on a shoot photographing a Jaguar D-Type, which was a really special day because I think he bunked off work to come and help me out. But I've got some really lovely shots from that day, and for me, that shoot especially has got some really lovely memories for me because I know that he really, really enjoyed that, and that made me happy.
Like with it, you can just see the hint of the airplanes in the background.
Now she's not in the room, I'm so proud of my daughter. She's so ambitious and so talented, and I'm really looking forward to see where she goes with this next.